Hello everyone, Lady DeWinter here, and today we are going to work on a table runner for Christmas. Now this can be used as a table runner or a dish drying rack. I already have a table runner, so I don't need one. So I'm going to use this to dry dishes on. And what I'm going to do is make a granny square to start with. To make a granny square to start with, you want to wrap your yarn around your finger and then pull up a loop through it like that. Now, there you go. Okay. Then I'm going to insert my needle and pull my thread taut. I'm going to get a little bit more thread there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap my needle and pull it through. We're going to do a chain stitch for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now I have my 5 chain stitches there, okay? I'm going to slip through the last chain, the one by the knot, the very last chain, because what we're going to do is make a circle. Okay, so now you have a U on your needle. We're going to pull that through this and that one, both of those threads, so now you only have one loop. Let me show you how to do that again, one more time. Last stitch on your needle, you're going to take it over here by this knot, you're going to insert it through that stitch. You're going to pull this yarn all the way through that one, and then all the way through that one, and now you have a circle. What you're going to do next is chain 3 chains, and then you're going to put 3 double crochets in this loop here. You're going to go, okay, hold on. You're going to go right through this circle here. Now, I bury my tail in this, and to do that, I simply hold the tail up against the yarn and insert my needle through, pull it through to my, now I have 3 on here, and then I'm going to go through that stitch, I'm going to wrap again and through that stitch. That is a double crochet. Now, we need 3, 6, 9, I believe there's 4 sets of 3, which is a half shell on here. So I'm going to chain 1 stitch between that, and I'm going to do 3 more double crochets holding my tail in. Now sometimes my yarn splinters. That's what it looks like when it splinters. So we don't want that. We want the whole piece of yarn. So we're going to do that again. Come down, pull our yarn through our needle. We're going to go through those first 2 loops and through the next 2 loops. Wrap your needle, go through the first 2 loops on your needle, and I hold my yarn differently than some people. I can't wrap it around my fingers like most people do. And then pull it through 2 more. Now, that's 2 more double crochets with a chain stitch in between. 1 more double crochet, pull it through again, and that is your next 3. Now I'm going to do another chain, double crochet here, and I've got to pull my yarn because my yarn is growing taut over here. It's all in a bucket on the chair next to me because I'm trying to do this at a kitchen table because I don't have a good setup to do an over-the-shoulder shot. There's just nowhere I can do an over-the-shoulder shot. So, okay, we're going to wrap our needle, poke it through that big hole there. We're going to pull up two stitches. We're going to pull that up. Now we still have 2 more loops on our needle, and we're going to pull that through. Okay, one more time. Wrap your needle, go through that hole, pull it through, pull it up a little bit, give yourself a little room there, go through those 2 stitches, and go through that one. Now, you have 1, 2, 3 sets of stitches on there. You want to do 1 more chain stitch here, and then you're going to finish up with 3 more double crochets through here. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're almost done with this part. We've got one last little thing to do. Let's pull our little clover looking thing out. Okay, now we've got that tail. We want to put that, we'll sew that in later. And we need to get that down. Now, I have the last of that on there. I'm going to make 1 more one more chain stitch, and then I'm going to go in through this little loop right here, this little loop right there like that. And then I'm going to use a slip stitch to close it, which is I pull it through there, I wrap my needle, I pull it through there. Now I've got 2 loops on my hook, and I pull it through the last loop and pull taut. Now I have the beginning of a granny square. Awesome. Okay, let's make the next level. 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to go, oh wait a minute, I did that wrong. Oops, wow, I almost screwed up. You want to kind of rock your way over to this hole there. So you go through that and you do a slip stitch, and you go through that and do a slip stitch, and then you go through here and do another slip stitch, and then you start your 3 chains up. I migrated all the way from this hole here over to this hole here. So now I'm going to pull that taut, and I'm going to do 3 chain stitches, and this will count as 1 double crochet. Now you're going to make a shell in this, okay? So you're going to go 3 double crochet here. Oops, I'm caught, and that happens with cotton yarn. Cotton yarn is very, very persnickety yarn, and sometimes it's a real pain to work with. Okay, I'm going to pull that up. I'm going to make my double crochet. Now, I'm going to chain 2 stitches here, and that'll give it a nice point. And then I'm going to go back through and make 3 more double crochet. Let's pull some more yarn here out of my bucket. 2 more double crochet now. 1, and I'm trying to keep this in focus, guys. It's hard because I can't really see what the camera sees because I'm shooting this with my cell phone. I hate to say that, but my little tiny camera is giving me issues with batteries. I'm going to have to look into that. Now, I'm not going to chain another stitch here. A lot of people chain 1 or 2 stitches here. I don't. I just go right over to the next one, the next little hole there, the next chain 1 space, and I start my next shell. There's 1 double crochet, and I keep catching on that piece of yarn over there, which is annoying. 2 double crochets, 3 double crochets, 2 chains, so it makes a nice point, and then you're going to go through and make 3 more. And that is the beginning of your granny square, okay? Now I'm going to get you guys all the way through and over here to the last one and slip stitch on, because I'm sure if you guys are watching this, you probably already know how to make a granny square, okay? So I'm just going to finish out the granny square by going to the next chain 1, making 3 double crochets, okay, there's your 3 double crochets right there, okay? Now I'm going to do 2 more chains, 3 more double crochet in that same hole. We're using the chain 1 space that we made when we first started our little granny square, okay? And I'm going to do 3 more in here, 1 or 2 more, 2 and 3. And I have to pull more yarn from my tub. I'm pulling from this, okay? And it's in a tub over there at the side of me. I'm going to skip over to this little chain hole here, and I'm going to do 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3. Pull some more yarn. And I'm going to do 2 more chains here, 1, 2, and then I'm going to put 3 more double crochets in here, and now we're to the end of our little second row of square here. What do we do? Well, that's quite easy. You find this little loop right there, that little loop right there, okay? What I'm touching on, I'm trying to show you the camera, that one there, and you take your needle and you insert it in that little top stitch right there like that, right there like that, and you wrap your needle, you pull it through. Now you've got two on your needle, got two of them on your needle, and you pull it straight through that one, and there you go. There's your granny square. Now you just keep doing this all the way around. You slip stitch over to your next hole, which I like to go under these two stitches there. It just makes it cleaner. In my personal opinion, it makes it look cleaner and nicer. Okay, and then you go over to this here and you do a slip stitch, and you just keep going around and around and around and around until you get the number of rows you want. So now I am going to come back when I get the number of rows I want, because I want 7 rows for this. So I will be right back. Hello everyone, Lady DeWinter here, and today we are back to finish or work on the table runner we started in the last part of the video. Now, yes, it's a different day because I can't crochet this all in one piece, guys. My arthritis will not allow me to do that. It simply will not allow me to do that. So let me move that down there and scoot some of this over a little bit so I can get you better in frame. Yeah, there we go. So we made our granny square. It's made like a normal granny square. Now, in the first part of the video, I said 7 rows, but I've only made 6. Now, I can show you what I mean. A row is starting here. You count the little shells up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, what I'm making this for, that will be plenty wide enough, but it might not be for you. So, it's up to you. You know, make it as wide as you need. You can make your granny square as big as you need. Now, we're going to cast on making another slip stitch. Okay, we got to get this in frame. Sorry, guys. I'll move that so you can see this better. Wrap it around your finger. You got a little loop. You tuck a piece of yarn up through, and boom, you have a slip knot. Now, a lot of people make them different. That's how I make mine. Now, we're going to start in this hole right here. This hole right here next to the corner, okay? We're going to start, and we're going to do a slip stitch to start, because we're casting our yarn onto our project. So there, that's a slip stitch, okay? Now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, this is being made with the premise that you guys already know most of these stitches. I'll try to show them to you and demonstrate them as we go, but, you know, this is what I'm trying to do here. So, we're going to make 3, well, the chain, this one here counts as 1. So, we're going to make 2 more double crochets, meaning we wrap our needle, we insert our hook through the hole and pull up a loop of yarn. Okay, now you have 1, 2, 3 loops on your needle. Okay, you're going to pull this through 2 and then wrap your needle again and pull it through 2 more. Okay, now we're going to do that again. We're going to wrap our needle. We're going to pull up a loop. We've got 1, 2, 3 on our needle. We're going to wrap our needle, pull it through the first 2, wrap our needle again, pull it through the next 2. And that is what I call a half shell. Okay, that's this part of the shell here. Okay. So now we're going to do this all the way down here until we get to the corner. And I'm sorry if I'm a little slow, but it is cold out and my arthritis is saying, yeah, you want to crochet? Sure. That's just the fun of getting old, folks, is, you know, you get like that and it hurts a little bit. Now we're still making double crochets, and what we're doing is making what I call a half shell. Okay, this is what I call a half shell. Get out of the way, yarn. Thank you. There we go. Now we're going to continue making double crochets. Skip over to the next hole after you make your 3. And let's make sure, yeah, let's make sure we can get that in frame. I do not have the equipment or the setup to make these kind of videos, guys. I did not intend to make this a crocheting channel. This was originally going to be a planner channel, a about the town channel, you know, but you all seem to enjoy the crochet videos and the sewing videos so much, I thought I'd throw a few more in here. And it is Christmas time. Uh-oh, we have a knot. We have a knot, viewers. We have to stop and get our knot unknotted. And there we go, unknotted. So, but it's Christmas time and people are looking for inexpensive gifts to give. And this is one of the most inexpensive you can give someone. Now, we're to our corner. So I am going to make 3 double crochets here. And the pattern on Mindful Knots, I think it's called, she puts a chain stitch in between there. I don't use chain stitches in my granny squares and all, unless I need the space for a reason, okay? So we're going to do 3 double crochets in here. Okay, you see we have our little half shell. Now we're going to do 2 chain stitches. And to do a chain stitch, you wrap your needle, you pull it through the loop, and you make sure you don't splinter. I'll do that again. You wrap your needle, you pull it through the loop. It did not splinter that time, thank you. I'll do that another time for you so you can see it. Try to get a little bigger and closer to the thing. Okay, you wrap your needle, you pull it through the loop. There's a loop on your hook. You wrap your needle, you pull it through. That is a chain stitch. Easiest stitch in the world to make. Okay, now I got to pull some more yarn because my yarn is on this great big gigantic thing here. And yeah, so. Okay, we're going to do 3 more chain stitch, or 3 more double crochets, sorry. 3 more double crochets here. And now we have what I call an entire shell. That's the entire shell corner there. I'll lay it down so you can see it. That's the entire shell corner. So we're going to go over here to our next hole. We're going to do a 3 chain. Or I'm sorry, 3 double crochet. I haven't had enough coffee yet. Let's just say that. Of course, my cup is right here. So I pushed this in a little bit so you could get a better view from my last video because I noticed that it was a little bit high and it was a little bit tough to see. So we're going all the way down. Uh-oh, more yarn's needed. Let's get some more yarn here. Get a whole bunch. There we go. Okay. Okay, we're going to go all the way down to this particular hole. This one right there. So now you can use a stitch marker if you like to mark your stitch. I don't because I know where I have to go. But a stitch marker will make it a little bit easier. You can buy stitch markers for hundreds of them for like $6.99 on Amazon. In fact, that's where I got all this yarn, was Amazon. You're probably wondering why. I don't leave the house very much anymore, folks. I have a lot of trouble leaving the house, so I buy a lot on Amazon. So, okay, here's our last hole now. We're going to make one of our half shells in this hole here. And I'm hoping this is still in frame. It's really hard for me to see. I'm shooting this on my cell phone, mainly because the big camera I have not learned how to use yet. So, okay, here is our chevron shape here, as you can see. It goes all the way down to there. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1. We're going to turn our work. And we are going to slip stitch our way all the way back over to that hole. So we're going to insert the needle in there. Insert your needle underneath there. Go through 1 and pull through. Insert your needle through, pull through. That's your slip stitch. We're going to slip stitch all the way over to there. Now, we're going to start this all over again. We're going to slip stitch into this hole. And we're going to start 1, 2, 3. You don't have to do that. You can actually probably, and I've never tried this, make that chain like that and then just do a double crochet. But I think that would make it a little bit too weird. So I'm going to do the chain 3, which will count for a double crochet, and then I'm going to do 2 more double crochets in here. Now, what you want is for each one of your rows to have this cool little pointy corner. And that's what we're working towards now, is each row should have a cool looking little pointy corner. So we're going to go ahead and finish this out. Now, again, I'm assuming you all know the stitches. I showed how to make a few, but I am by far no expert on crocheting. So if you know a different, better, more comfortable for you way to make these stitches, use it. I do things my way because I have some issues with my hands. I have carpal tunnel syndrome, and that makes it a little tough. I have arthritis, which makes it equally tough, even a little bit more so, because it hurts. And then, of course, my hand, this one, goes to sleep while I'm crocheting. That's why the videos are coming to you in blocks instead of one long video. Because number one, I'm very slow anymore. I used to crochet 4 times faster than this, but I don't anymore. So things are a little bit slow. I hope you're patient, but it appears you're all enjoying the videos because of the views. And I thank you for the views. I'm very, very grateful for that. Now let's pull a little bit more yarn off here without spilling our coffee. I'm going to sit my coffee way over there, guys, so that my coffee does not get spilled. You'd be surprised how many times I've yanked a cup of coffee off a table with yarn. Okay, so now here we are to our corner again. We're going to make the same corner all over again, okay? I did not wrap my needle. That was not good. I did not wrap my needle. Okay, so we're going to wrap our needle. We're going to go through the corner. We're going to make 3 double crochets here. Okay, now we're going to chain 2, which is where we have a loop on our hook, and we just draw some yarn through. Loop on the hook, draw some yarn through. That's your chain stitches. Now we're going to do 3 more double crochets over here. And I will, after I get this in and the other side in, I will show you the final product made using this system. It's really nice, and the pattern is on a place. The girl demonstrates it. Her channel is Mindful Knots, and she makes a very pretty table runner using this crochet method. So, but I wanted to make one for Christmas for you. So, that's what we're doing. These make great gifts. All the stuff that I'm showing you, I'm making crochet-wise, makes wonderful gifts. They really, truly make wonderful gifts. You can do these in any color you like. It doesn't have to be Christmas. It can be fall. It can be solid color. It can be multiple solid. You know, it doesn't matter what colors you use. It's whatever you want. And that's why I love these kind of projects, okay? I love these kind of projects because you can make them whatever you want them to be. So, now. Okay, now since we started up here, we're going to skip this and we're going to stop right here. Or no, we're going to stop in this hole right here, sorry. We're going to stop in the last hole right there and tie off, because I'm not going to make this. You know, I'm going to make the 2 stripes of this color because I'm changing colors. You don't have to change colors. You can make it all one color. You can make it, you know, it's totally and completely up to you, okay? I'm going to tie this off and I'm going to cut my yarn now, okay? And I do this, I make a long loop, I cut my yarn, I pull that side out, and I take... had to do something there, sorry. I take and I insert my needle here and I pull a strand of thread up like that through there, and then I take my fingernails, see the little knot, and I tighten that knot down. Now I'll weave that in, and when that's weaved in, that will secure that little knot in place also. So there you go. That is the first side of our table runner. Now yes, I have strings hanging off it. Those will all be weaved in. Now let's go for the next side. And I'm going to show you, we're going to cast on that side again. Okay, and I'm just going to show you part of this because I've already showed, oh, I forgot. Sorry, it's out of focus. There we go. Okay, I'm going to cast on using my finger, wrap my thread around my finger till I have a little loop like that. Then I'm going to take and push another strand of yarn through so it looks like that, and I'm going to pull a taunt. And then I'm going to put it on my needle, okay? That is a basic slip knot. And then I'm going to come down here to my first hole. I'm skipping the corner. We're going to skip that corner, okay? We're going to come down here to the first hole, and we're going to slip stitch, which is where and so I'll show you that again. Hold on, let me get my needle off there. I hold this piece of thread like that to keep it out of the way. Okay, I've got this loop on my needle where I cast it on, and you see the thread through the hole there on my finger. I'm going to poke through that hole, pull up that thing of thread, and I'm simply going to pull it through that loop. That is your slip stitch. That is how you cast on. Then I'm going to make 3 chains. Okay, then I'm going to wrap this piece over here, and later on I'll show you how to hide all that if you want. Never just cut it off. Never. Okay, never do that. And my yarn splintered because it'll unfray in the wash. Okay, so we're going to start out with a double crochet again, and we're going to do 3. Now remember, the 3 chain stitch, the first one we made, let me get some more yarn. My yarn's pulling me away. Okay, the first 3 chains we made is right here. That counts as our first double crochet. So now you can wrap this along there and do that. I don't. I sew it in using a needle, a yarn needle. So, and we're going to go back up and around just like we did on the first one, on this side too. Just like we did the first time. And of course, as you can see, I'm a little bit faster when I'm not trying to show you guys stuff. But I'm also trying to catch it so you can see what I'm doing here. Now, like I said, not everybody holds their yarn like I do. I had to learn how to crochet with screwed up fingers. So okay, so here we go. We're going up here to the corner in the last little hole here. And then we get to our corner. Now remember, we're going to do another corner just like this one, just like the one we did over here. We're going to do another corner just like that. Two chains and 3 more double crochets to make our, what I call the full shell. Now, a full shell doesn't have to have the 2 chains in. That's just a corner trick, okay? You can just make 6 double crochets here. But if you want a corner, a nice pointy corner, you want to put a couple chains in there. So we're going to go back down this side now. Oops. Trying to hurry because I know the video, we don't have all day for this. Okay. Now, like I said, I'm showing you this part, and then I will come back when I have the finished product done, so you can see what it looks like when it's finished. Uh-oh, out of yarn. Got to get more yarn. Uh-oh, what poked me? Old age is, it seems like everything pokes my skin anymore, guys. I don't know what it is. I think I have extremely dry skin. That also happens when you're old. When you get older. Now see, our yarn is splintering here, and that is a problem. So I'm going to hold the yarn kind of with my finger and make it work. And I also crochet loose. Uh-oh, see, there's another one. I crochet very loose, guys, and the reason I do that is because, like I said, I don't wrap the yarn through my fingers like everybody else does. So my crocheting is a little bit loose. If you want to learn how to crochet really super tight, then you will need a smaller needle, much smaller needle, and you will need to learn how to wrap your yarn through your fingers. But super tight makes it really hard, okay? Super tight makes it really hard to crochet unless you need it super tight. Okay, here we are. We're at the end of this now, and we're going to double back on this one and go back the other direction. Okay, we're going to chain a stitch here and turn our work. And now we're going to slip stitch our way all the way back to the that next hole. Slip stitch, slip stitch and slip stitch through the hole. And there we go. There's our, and see, I use these fingers to pull the yarn taut. So then we're going to do our chain 3 to count as a double crochet. We're going to do 2 more double crochets in this one. And then we're going to go back the exact way we came. We're going to pull some more yarn because we're running out of yarn here. There we go. There's some more yarn there. I have not figured out a way to use those kind of, these kind of roll things of yarn like this. I have not figured out a way to use those so that they, you know, unless they're sitting on the table like that or in my basket, how to make it just freely roll. So if you figure that out, let me know. Okay, now we've got a little bit of a tubble of yarn here. There we go. We're going to spread out our yarn so that it doesn't make it, you know, get knotted up or whopper jarred, as I like to call it. Okay, we're going to get back in frame now. We're almost to the corner again. Almost to the corner. And unfortunately, my hand is starting to go to sleep again, like it often does when I crochet. That's why I can't make a whole video of making one item. My hand tends to feel like it's going to sleep on me. And it gets really weird feeling. I mean, the fingers start feeling, I could probably jab a needle in these fingers now and I wouldn't feel it. So that's the carpal tunnel. And I refuse to have the surgery because I've seen people who've had that surgery and it made it worse for them. I know a girl who had the surgery who used to type 80-something words a minute, and now she can't type at all. So I just, you know, I'll just deal with it and take breaks in between my crocheting. Okay, we did our 2 chains. I hope you saw that. Okay, we stopped there. We did our 2 chains to make our corner. 1, 2, okay, and then we start with our 3 doubles again to make our full shell. And that's what I call it. That's not the real terminology of it, but that's what I call it, is the full shell. Okay, now we're going down to the next hole. Insert your needle and start your double crochets and make a half shell all the way down to the end. Pull some more yarn. Come on, yarn, let's cooperate. People don't want to see me pulling yarn all day. There we go. Okay, now we're going to pull that a little bit out. Now you can also block your work if you want to. I never do. I have never blocked my work. You know, it would probably help a lot if I did, but you know, I don't like using spray starch or any kind of starch because of the chemical makeup of it. I don't like doing that. A lot of people lay it out on a thing and wet it down and then pin it so it stretches. I don't do that either. I don't do any of that. I just make the pieces and I wash them and they turn out fine. If there's any shrinkage, that's not necessarily a bad thing unless you need something to be an exact size. Okay, here we are at the last hole, okay? Very last hole. Now this will be sewn in, and I'll show that to you guys in another video. We're going to make our last three, our last three crochets, which is our half shell. And we're going to stop right here. Okay? So now you see you've got these neat little points here, okay? And that's what you want. You want those cool little points. You don't have to make it as sharp. You could go two chain stitches here if you prefer. That's up to you. You know, it's up to you. So I'm going to make my single chain stitch there. I'm going to turn my work again. Now I'm not going back down. I'm going to slip stitch into this stitch right here. And I'm going to pull it, and then I'm going to pull my yarn out like I do to stop the project. I've got a nice probably inch or two, and there. I cut it. Oops. Okay, we splintered, so that's why there's nothing at the end of these needles. You can pull them right straight through your project, no damage whatsoever. I'm going to take that through like that, make that little knot. I'm going to pull it taut. I'm going to run my fingernails down it and pull it taut. So there you go. There is the beginning of your table runner. Now each row will go in the subsequent hole here when you change color, so that all of this is a nice little, and that didn't turn out too well. I'm going to have to fix that, but that's how it turns out. And I think it looks pretty good. I'm real happy with it. And they make great gifts. If you want it longer, you just keep going until you run out of chevrons. It's simple as that. Because every time you go down a hole, you're decreasing, okay? You're decreasing the number of rows you'll have in it. So eventually it will get down to be like just this 3 holes. And that's where the size of your granny squares matters, okay? That's where the size of your granny square matters. So there you go. There's the beginning of the table runner. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and until next time, this is Lady De Winter. I will show you the finished project once I finish it, but it's going to take me a few days because I have to take breaks in between crocheting. But if you keep going, like if you remember I showed you in the last video where I was showing you Christmas presents, I made a table runner in fall colors. So that's what this will eventually look like. So thanks for watching. Until next time, this is Lady De Winter reminding you you're never too old to game or crochet or do anything you want. I tried to adjust the camera. Sorry about that. It doesn't adjust well. Bye-bye for now.